cravings. Do you get them? I used to get cravings all the time. And then when I cut sugar, they kind of went away. Not straight away, it took some time. And over the years, I've had time to think about cravings, and I've got 5 tips for you here. Here's tip number 1 to get rid of cravings. Not everyone goes about reducing sugar in the same way. So think about, what kind of person are you? What's your natural personality? Are you more of an all or nothing personality, like me? Then maybe going cold turkey with sugar is more for you. Whereas if you're more like a step-by-step kind of person, then maybe a more gradual way to reduce sugar is better for you. But the bottom line is to respect yourself and to respect your natural personality, because there's no one way of reducing sugar, and the way to get rid of cravings sustainably is to go about it in a way that fits who you are. And you can find out more about whether you're an abstainer or a moderator in episode 12 of the Life After Sugar podcast. My second tip to get rid of cravings is to get to know the source of your cravings. Because here's the thing, sugar feeds your cravings, and often when you're in the middle of a strong craving, what you want is to have a bit of sugar to calm down the craving. But the problem is that sugar actually feeds your sugar cravings, and eating less sugar or even no sugar will calm down those cravings eventually. I mean, it does sound crazy and upside down, right? But not just sugar, but also starchy foods like fries or pasta or bread, and crunchy foods like chips or crackers or even nuts, for some people, are crave-worthy because they've got this mix of salty and crunchy. So it's not just sweet foods. And most of the foods that we find trigger our cravings are actually products engineered by the food industry to be crave-worthy and to make us hooked. So it's a good idea to think about, what am I craving? Is it more sweet things, or is it more salty, crunchy foods? I'm not saying any of them are better or worse, but just knowing what your triggers are is a good way to be able to reduce your cravings. And this brings me to tip number 3 to get rid of your cravings, is to be aware that physical cravings go away faster than emotional cravings, which means that really your body is actually faster than your brain. So if your brain is kind of blocking your belief that you can get rid of cravings and making you want to go back to these foods, well, just know that even though your body may feel better, your brain can still make you believe that you're craving those very foods that actually make you feel worse, not better. So my tip after all these years of living happily sugar-free is to be aware that the memories that linger about these crave-worthy foods are often due to sweet memories from your past, and that is totally valid. But even more than that, these types of memories are often due to the fact that these foods have actually been engineered by the food industry to make you crave them. And when you stop eating those foods, the cravings also go away. And this brings me to tip number 4, which is possibly the most difficult one, which is to look more closely at your relationship with sugar. A relationship with sugar? I didn't even think that such a thing existed. But if you're anything like me, and if you find yourself telling yourself things like, oh, it's just this once, oh, once won't hurt, or I deserve it, or I'll just have one more, I need a treat, well, then it's possible that you have an unhealthy relationship with sugar, and that's what you need to look at more closely. And if you do realize this, don't beat yourself up about it. It's not your fault. It's not a bad thing about you. It's actually good for you to know that you're normal. And most of us who have eaten sugar for many years have developed a pretty unhealthy relationship with sugar. But the good news is that it can change. The first thing is to become aware that you have a relationship with sugar and that this unhealthy relationship could be making your cravings worse. And the other good news is that you can actually replace this unhealthy relationship by developing a much more healthy relationship with other enjoyable activities that have nothing to do with sugar, like an activity that you enjoy, or a sport, or music, or meditating, or praying, or doing an activity that you really, really enjoy, or being with people that you really, really love. This is a great way to start replacing sugar by crowding out the pleasure that sugar used to give you with other activities that are not sugar related. And my final tip, tip number 5, to get rid of cravings is to be aware that sugar is neither good nor bad. Yep, I said it. I'm not saying that sugar is bad, because actually sugar is an inanimate object. It doesn't have a personality. It doesn't have any kind of moral value. I mean, it may help for you to demonize sugar at the beginning of your journey to your life after sugar, but at the end of the day, sugar is an inanimate object, and it only has the meaning that you choose to give to it. So if you see it as a treat, it will become a treat. And if you see it as, poison, then it will become poison. But what I encourage you to do in life after sugar is to work towards having a neutral relationship with sugar so that it doesn't have any kind of meaning to you at all, other than just a substance that you no longer want, need, or like. So you may have noticed in my 5 tips that I didn't actually tell you what to eat or what not to eat. And that's because in life after sugar, I think it's far more important for you to start thinking about your relationship with sugar rather than just changing what you eat. And if you want to download these 5 tips, then click on the link below this video and download them on the podcast page on my website. I hope these tips were helpful for you. Let me know in the comments below which tip was the most helpful for you, and if you need any more tips to help you deal with cravings, because I know all about cravings and it's such a wonderful feeling not to have them anymore. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel so that you never miss another video. See you soon.